And now, from Pasadena, it's CCN Sunrise with Sunita Joshua Madison, Paulo Alejandria, the Crown City News team, and the CCN Sunrise segment stars. It's time to wake up San Gabriel Valley with CCN Sunrise.
Good morning, everybody. Plenty in store for you this morning on CCN Sunrise. We talked to a vet hunter about Veterans Day. What's a vet hunter, you say? You'll find out. I'm Sunita Joshua Madison.
And I'm Mary Winters. Also, is it okay to snoop on your kids online? A new app says, yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
I think you should.
Well, Mary, I am just so grateful that you are here with me this morning co-hosting.
Thank you.
And you are a queen of gratitude, because I see on Facebook when I'm following you, you are doing these daily gratitude journals.
Well, a couple of years ago, I noticed a friend of mine had been doing it for quite a while, and I thought, why not? There's simple little things that we can be grateful for every single day. A little roof over our head, the birds singing, friends that take care of us. So it's become kind of almost a 2-year journey now.
2 years you've kept it up. That is long.
Yeah.
Is there any day where you're just like, I just don't feel like it?
I definitely have skipped days, and there are days that I've been out of town and that sort of thing. So
do people call you on it? Like, hey,
are you going to keep doing this? What's going on? And keep doing it if you want to, but we kind of really like that you do it. So people have taken that then and done their own gratitude challenges, and it's November. So November is Thanksgiving
so much
and
to
the
be
month
thankful.
of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I actually do that with my son a lot, because he's always, like, I want this and I need this and blah, blah, blah. And I just have to stop him. Like, what about all the things you do have, and just reminding him, like, you have a roof over your head, like you said, food to eat. There are plenty of people who don't have these things.
Oh, yeah. And with
too many toys.
Yeah, with my population, we lose things as we age, too. So we have to be really grateful to still have vision and hearing and being able to walk.
I know, it's such a godsend that we do take for granted. Thank you, Mary, for doing that. And
absolutely.
It's just, what a challenge to take on.
It's fun.
Well, now for the news with CCN's Paulo Alejandria.
And now, CCN, Crown City News. Your neighborhood starts right now.
Hi, Sunita. Hi, Mary. Hi, everybody. Here's a look at some of the headlines making news right here in the San Gabriel Valley. Voters all over the country cast their ballots this past Tuesday, Election Day. Here in California, Jerry Brown earned his second term as governor by defeating Republican challenger Neel Kashkari with 58.7% of the vote. California's highly scrutinized election for superintendent for public education went to Tom Torlakson after his opponent, Marshall Tuck, conceded. The race for California's District 41 Assembly member seat went to incumbent Chris Holden, despite an impressive showing from 18-year-old Nathaniel Tsai, who carried 41% of the popular vote. Democrat Adam Schiff also retained his seat in the House of Representatives by defeating challenger Steve Stokes in a resounding landslide. Reports indicate Tuesday's election set a record low for voter turnout in Los Angeles County, with only 25.2% of the approximate 4 million registered voters casting their vote. Here's a story from our partners over at Pasadena Independent, part of the Beacon Media News Group. Dozens of nurses held a rally Thursday as a way to bring attention to what they say is a call on Huntington Memorial Hospital to restore quality patient care. The nurses also say they want hospital management to implement the highest standard of Ebola preparedness, including personal protective equipment and training for hospital workers. Congresswoman Judy Chu, Pasadena City Council member Victor Gordo, and other local dignitaries attended the rally. They and more than 250 others signed the letters to Huntington Hospital. Making their request, the nurses say they are also trying to unionize and that hospital management is trying to stop them. More on this story on the PasadenaIndependent.com and CrownCityNews.com. That's it for the news for now. I'll have more coming up in the next half hour. Sunita and Mary, back to you.
Thanks, Paulo. Here in California, Democrats didn't feel the midterm losses like the rest of the country as Republicans took control of both houses of Congress. Locally, voters passed a few major propositions, including a water bond and the state status change of some crimes. CCN's Tony Mead talked to some of you to get your election reaction.
The votes are in. I'm on the streets of Pasadena, getting people's thoughts on the Republicans' win across the country.
I think it's about time.
Very fearful about the future, actually. I think in the next 2 years, the Republicans will continue to put restraints on voting, making it almost impossible for anyone else to win in 2016.
I'm slightly disappointed. I had hoped to see the Democrats be able to pull that off in their election. When I look at the system, the American system confuses me a little bit. I would like to see obviously more parties within their system so that it's not always the big two dominating back and forth.
Kind of like on the fence is that as well.
The water is supposed to be free, first of all. We should be able to take a shower when we want to, take a bath when we want to, water our grass when we want to, you know. They'll give us a fine if we water on certain days, and I don't think that that's right.
I am opposed to all the propositions because taxes are high enough, too high at this time and at any time, and cover enough. The government has enough money from the tax rates that we pay to cover all of these issues, and the water issue especially can be handled just by better management in government.
Well, if you're paying a fine that's over $1,000 and they're keeping you in, might as well stay in. But if it's something petty, something that we can avoid overcrowdedness in jail and something that can be handled, let them out. You know, it depends on the crime and how severe it is.
I really do agree that people should be let out early. I think that they should start opening doors right now because it's kids in there just for stealing bikes. It's kids in there for, you know, not reporting on time or ditching school, and just it's horrible. It's horrible.
Republicans won 31 governors, 243 U.S. House representatives, and 52 U.S. Senates. In Pasadena, Tony Mead, CCN.
The elections brought sweeping results around the country and big changes for the Republican Party. Republicans in Utah elected their first African-American female to Congress, and South Carolina's Tim Scott was elected the first black senator in the South since Reconstruction. In interviews after the election, Utah Congresswoman Mia Love said race or gender for that matter had nothing to do with her getting elected. Considering she is a first and a rarity in the Republican Party, is it fair to dismiss race and gender factors in her win? We have local activist Steve Lamb here to join us in the Morning Buzz. And Steve, I just, you know, I understand that she's saying, you know, it's all about me as a candidate, and, you know, it's not about race. You know, they elected the best person for the job, but is it really fair to dismiss the fact that she is a first? That's a significant thing.
I think if she wants to dismiss her race and her gender, that certainly she's able to do that. You know, the Republican Party was founded originally to end the two evils, they said in their first platform, to end the two evils of American culture, slavery and polygamy, which was legal in Utah. So it's kind of amazing that an African-American Republican woman is representing Utah when you consider that history. But I think, you know, one of the main goals of the Republican Party always was that black people eventually would be mainstreamed into America and that there would be no thought of their color. And I think she's holding true to that ideal.
It is, but it is a long time coming.
No, I agree. I think when you make something an issue, it stays the issue.
Right.
Versus she's a qualified candidate and everybody elected her.
Right.
Could have been a him too, but they elected her because of her qualifications.
But, you know, in the Republican Party, she is a first. You know, I mean, to dismiss that altogether, I mean, not saying, I think she's awesome. I think, you know, like, I just love her energy, and I'm really excited to see where she takes this.
Did you ever see Guess Who's Coming to Dinner?
I did.
Okay. You remember the line where Sidney Poitier is talking to his father and he says, "Dad, you see yourself as a black man. I see myself as a man." That's where she is. She doesn't see herself as a black woman. She doesn't see herself necessarily as a woman. She sees herself
what else is also
as a
interesting
human being.
is Utah. Some reports came out recently that the worst places for women to work, or the worst pay for women, is out of Utah. So I find that very interesting that maybe she now can make some changes within that arena as well.
And she can, because she is a woman and can speak to that, and she is African American and can speak to that and maybe bring light to that. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. That's what I don't understand.
She doesn't have to be a woman to speak to women's issues.
Well, you know, there are plenty of men speaking for women, and there are not enough women speaking for women. They've had.
Okay, I'd agree with you there.
And women are kind of backstabbing to each other too. I have to say.
Absolutely. We're going to move on to the next topic. Also in the Morning Buzz, SEAL Team 6, the Navy's highly specialized team involved in taking down Osama bin Laden, has been very vocal, and so have their family. Recently, the father of Robert O'Neill, an ex-SEAL team member, claimed his son was the one who shot bin Laden, and he wanted to out him because the Pentagon has been trying to keep him quiet. But isn't that a given when you're a part of these kinds of missions, an oath to keep quiet and follow orders? And I just want to say, first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. Second rule of Fight Club, you don't talk about Fight Club.
Yeah.
And third rule of Fight Club, you don't have your daddy fight your battles. That's what I'm saying.
I just find it incredible. In fact, I had an opportunity to talk to a SEAL, Navy SEAL last night. And he was, I think they were a little hurt that he would actually put that out there. And I think he put his family at risk in doing that as well. These are highly, highly specialized, trained individuals. You do not want those secrets out.
It's really bizarre. I mean, it's almost like a break of 50 years of tradition, and it's sort of unheard of, and it's contrary to all their safety training. It's just a really weird thing. But I mean, I can understand wanting to have the bragging rights. Yeah, I killed Osama bin. I mean,
But 50 years from now, look at some of the things with JFK are just coming out, or will never come out. But
Absolutely.
I can't believe that they're not confidential.
And bragging rights is one thing, but they've all said that this couldn't have happened without the team.
Right.
So to
Exactly.
point out one person, but he's saying he wants to be able to have a career after this. He retired from the SEALs, and he retired 4 years early, so he's not getting the pension. He's not getting the.
Well, why do you do that?
It sounds,
that's what I don't
like
understand.
There's some bad issues there. Yeah, because this is a brotherhood, a tight brotherhood, and this whole group makes sure that if you can't carry yourself, that they get together and support one another. They carry the weak link.
Absolutely.
He seems like the weak link right now.
That's what we're doing here. Thank you both for carrying me. We're going to have you back in our next half hour, Steve.
Okay.
Thanks. Coming up in honor of Veterans Day, we'll find out about an organization going above and beyond to honor veterans.
And Kevin George with the Vet Hunters Project talks about how they find vets to help next.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Through the many wars the country has been involved in, veterans have returned often to fall through the cracks of the system and get lost. One local resident finds them and works to get them help they need. Kevin George with the Vet Hunters Project is here to tell us more. Thanks for being here, Kevin.
Full disclosure, I know Kevin very well, and I'm very excited about the project that he's part of.
Yeah, so tell us about veterans. You've worked with them from all the different wars. What kind of work do you do with them?
Well, the Vet Hunters started out 3 years ago. Joe Leal is an Iraq combat war veteran, and he saw the need for so many of our veterans out there on the streets who are dying on the streets that they fought to protect. And so when Joe, saw all the needs that these servicemen and women needed, he started the Vet Hunters. And what we do is we go out and we do daily search and rescue missions. And we look under the freeways on Skid Row out in the canyons, and we try and bring the supportive services to these homeless veterans and reconnect them with what they need, whether it's transitional housing or drug and alcohol or mental health.
But they've done a lot more than that. I mean, you have taken people individually and really walked them through benefits that they hadn't been getting, that they were fighting for. I mean, I'm really impressed with a lot of the work that you've done.
Initially, the Vet Hunters started out with the homeless veterans. We also help and advocate for active, reserve, and former military in all the branches. And so, but you're right, we do take the veteran off the street, we find them housing, we give them clothing, and we walk them through until they're at a point where they can sustain themselves.
Give us some examples, because I mean, and the stories you've told me are really quite phenomenal.
A couple of quick examples is we met a gentleman at a cold weather shelter in Glendora last year from the Vietnam War. He had injured his back, got out of the service, tried to get his benefits from the VA, and was told that his records had burned up in the fire in St. Louis. He couldn't even barely walk. We were able that night to confirm his service. The next day we drove him to the Long Beach VA. He had surgery a week later, and months down the road, he received hundreds of thousands of dollars in back service connected pay.
And is this stuff that the VA should be doing?
The VA is like trying to wrestle a 900-pound gorilla. You know, they're trying to stay out in front of all the problems that they currently have, but to be honest with you, it really, if every veteran that's trying to get benefits from the VA or has issues with the VA could have an advocate like some of them do with the Vet Hunters, where we will go physically with them and advocate for them to plead their case, you know, it would be a lot better.
Yeah, and you act kind of as a hub too, where there are other services that provide services for veterans, like say PCC, they have fantastic services, support services there. So you will work with other organizations.
We have a
to
lot of
support
great
them.
collaborative partners. We've got Covina Rotary Field of Valor, who provide a lot of resources for veterans in the East San Gabriel Valley. We've got Patriots and Paws in Orange, California. If a veteran is moving into an apartment and needs furniture, they provide everything that they need.
It's great.
I do have to ask one quick question, because you have just opened some brand new job centers in the area,
right,
and you're really helping veterans find jobs. I wanted to find out, you know, with the SEAL Team 6 member we just talked about recently, part of why he says he wanted to out himself is because he wants to become a motivational speaker, because he said the only jobs he was getting, you know, someone was going to set him up with beer delivery. Why aren't they getting the jobs that highlight their skills?
You know, a lot of the veterans come out and they're not really geared towards being able to translate what they did in the military to what will work for them. So that's why we try and work with employers to let them know that, yes, this gentleman was a tank commander, but he has a lot of experience handling a $30 million piece of equipment and had 6 other people's lives in his hands.
I want to hire a SEAL Team 6
Let's
member.
wrap it up.
Absolutely.
But incredible service. Definitely check out the Vet Hunters Project.
VetHunters.org. Thanks for being here, Kevin.
Thank you so much.
Well, 'tis the season to be merry. Fa la 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 la.
And for some, the holidays really aren't that cheerful, just stressful and lonely. Dr. Michelle Myers talks about getting through the holiday blues next in Family to Family segment.
Get your ass up. You're not sitting here. Yes, I am. Move. Give it to him hard. No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stabbing me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
It's getting to be the most wonderful time of the year.
But not for everyone. For some, it's really the most stressful time of the year. Dr. Michelle Myers tells us about how some can avoid the holiday blues. Dr. Michelle, can you tell us a little bit about how people can kind of
Yeah,
work through that?
absolutely. There's such just, everyone loves the holidays and everyone gets really excited, but there's a good majority of the population that actually don't enjoy the holidays. You know, according to the American Psychological Association, nearly 50% of all women experience heightened stress and frustration during the holiday seasons due to feeling overwhelmed, due to numerous family events, and sort of sadness and loneliness. And so there are some really things that we can take into consideration with the holidays. First, take breaks frequently, step away from party planning, and enjoy some quiet time for yourself. Go for a walk, get a massage. Get moving. Regular exercise continues to show to decrease levels of stress and anxiety and tension. Instead of shopping online, wake up early and hit the stores. Be realistic. Things do not have to be perfect. Plan ahead. Another thing is that tis a season for sweets. Try to avoid sugar during the holiday seasons. It's better to load up on the good stuff before reaching for those cookies. I hear from time and time again from families, they have to spend time with family members they really don't like. Set aside grievances for a more appropriate time, not during holiday dinners. Maybe wait a few days. Learn to say no. I also hear from a lot of families that they have to split between one family and the next family. A really good solution is maybe spending one day of the holiday with one family and another day with another family, so you don't have to do all the driving and all the travel time, which just adds more and more stress. Another thing is that some individuals have experienced grief and loss during the holiday season. Holiday seasons, we see a surge of depression and sometimes suicide. So it's okay that if people don't necessarily enjoy the holidays, we don't need to push it on them. And lastly, acknowledge your feelings. It's really okay if you feel a certain way. You don't have to force yourself to love the holidays, but really just be where you want to be. And I think it's important for us to really know what our triggers are, know what's going to make us really stressed out during the holidays, and try to prevent those as much as possible. We do always want everything to be so perfect and so wonderful that we just make it less enjoyable for ourselves and for the rest of us who are driving crazy.
Right.
Just
Put
too
a lot of
high of
pressure on
expectations.
ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you,
We're
Dr.
heading
Michelle.
into the next half-hour stretch with the fit and beautiful Loa Blasucci.
Blasucci. Yeah. Loa will show us how to get a good deep stretch to feel great. Next.
Hey everybody! Heart disease affects 1 in every 3 women in America, but you can fight back. There's no time to lose. Mothers, sisters, daughters, families, and friends, it's time to shout louder, stand stronger, and demand change.
Let's go!
To the Batmobile. Dang it.
To the invisible jet!
Dang it. Together, we can put an end to heart disease. It's time to go red for women.
I could use your help.
Learn more from the American Heart Association at www.goredforwomen.org.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Ready to stretch?
Oh, absolutely. Loa is back to show us how to get a deep stretch to get you going.
Hey, I don't like to do anything that wastes time. I'm all about being efficient. This is total body, because it's like, let's multitask, right? So, especially if you've got any kind of digestive issue or stomach stuff, this is perfect for stretching all through the pelvis and belly. Gonna love this. Here's how it happens. First, we're gonna start with just a nice lift up through the spine. So this is active. We're not just resting, you're lifting up nice and tall, but relax the shoulders. From here, we're gonna launch out. So we wanna open up the entire body. The posterior chain, that's your butt. The lats, that's up through the arm, because I know you sit at the computer and you're rolled forward a lot. So we're gonna get this all done in one sweep. So from here, lift up tall. We'll plant this hand right here, extend the leg out so your instep is down, straighten that leg. We're gonna tighten the hips, push up, and here's the reach. So just extend that arm up, squeeze your glutes, that's your butt, tighten it and reach and hold it, about 2 breaths right here. Then as you come back, we'll pick up this leg, bring it right back here, sitting up tall, breathe, relax the shoulders, but lift the spine up, tall, tall. Then we'll go to the other side. So planting this hand, same thing, drop this knee down. If you have sensitive knees or a history of knee injury, put a little soft towel or something there. Launch up, extend the leg, and here's the reach. So pushing, reaching up beyond the head. Let your eyes flow past the fingertips, tighten the tail, and then as we bring it back down, we come right back to here. This is the good part. This is where just erase your mind. Thoughts, just let them float away. Lifting the spine up, relax the face, soften the hands, soften the shoulders, and just breathe. Close your eyes and breathe. So just to recap that whole process, we're waking you up. We're opening you up. Preparing the back side of you, I call that the posterior chain, that's your butt. That's your cute little butt. We want to tighten it, wake it up so that you fire appropriately through the butts and through your butt and don't strain your low back. So that's all incorporated. As you reach, you're tightening, lifting. So I'm going to do it one more time so you really get this, because this is efficient. You want to know how to add this one into your workout. Because so many of my clients, they say, yeah, I stretched, you know, I did a fold and I did this. This one is powerful. So here we go. When you're sitting right here, lift up tall, plant the hand, then we just extend over, straight leg, let the little foot fold down, and here's the launch. Up through the hips, reach, extend that arm up, over, over, relax your face, eyes flow past, and just take your time with it. Bring it back. We'll tuck this leg back up. Now lift the spine, and that's it. So it's efficient, because we love that. I know you're busy. I know you don't have a whole lot of time. So let's make the most of it. It's a total body stretch. I'm happy to see you this morning. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope your body feels great and you feel strong. And I'll see you next time. I'm Loa. L-O-A stands for love one another. I'll see you soon. Thanks.
And I love Loa, and my butt is feeling awake, I think. Coming up in our second half hour, hundreds of women get together in Pasadena to discuss their health.
And we're making Peruvian shrimp ceviche with Mad Chef Dave Matthews and a special Whole Foods chef in the Taste of Sunrise. All that and more next.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
You're doing great. We're gonna try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, butt in the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep pedaling.
Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, you ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore.
and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
And now, from Pasadena, it's CCN Sunrise with Sunita Joshua Madison, Paulo Alejandria, the Crown City News team, and the CCN Sunrise segment stars. It's time to wake up San Gabriel Valley with CCN Sunrise.
We're back with our second half hour of CCN Sunrise. Coming up, if you snoop in on your kids through social media networking, a new tool may be able to help you do that better. I'm Sunita Joshua Madison.
And I'm Mary Winters. Also, the Mad Chef Dave Matthews gets a visit from Whole Foods 110 and Bellevue restaurant chef Joanna Ramos in Taste of Sunrise.
Can't wait for that. So what are you doing this weekend, Mary?
Well, I'm not really sure. I know I'm doing something, but I don't really have my plans drawn out. I did see a movie last week, though.
Oh, you did?
I saw St. Vincent. It was supposed to be a comedy, the one with Bill Murray. And I was a little kind of taken by the fact that it wasn't really that funny, but when I really looked at all the moving pieces and the characters that they had in it, it was really interesting. It was fun.
No, is that a Wes Anderson movie?
I'm not sure.
I know Bill Murray's in a lot of those.
Yeah, I know he likes to cram a lot of different kinds of characters.
Because I finally saw Grand Budapest Hotel.
Okay.
And it was one of those things where I love the style, I love Wes Anderson movies, but I kind of was like, I think I've seen this in a different version, Royal Tenenbaums.
Yeah.
Like, I just love that style, but Wes, let's try something new. I
Even
don't know.
Tim Burton with his dark kind of feel to all of his
like
movies.
how about a rom-com out of these guys, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and now CCN's Paulo Alejandria joins us with the news.
And now, CCN, Crown City News. Your news, your neighborhood starts right now.
Hi, Sunita and Mary. Hi, everybody. Here's a look at some of the news headlines happening right here in the San Gabriel Valley. Hundreds of women gathered at the Pasadena Convention Center to learn more about health issues many women face. CCN's Tony Mead was there.
Southern California's Women's Health Conference and Expo brings thousands of women to the Pasadena Convention Center for a full day of education and inspiration.
It's a great thing for the community. There's just so many people that don't have health insurance, so it just gives you a start as to, what's going on in the community and what you can do to improve your health, and the workshops tell you a whole lot.
Organizers say nearly 2,000 women attended the 2014 Southern California's Women's Health Conference and Expo at the Pasadena Convention Center. This year's theme is Your Health, Your Way, You're the Driver. Many community-based health organizations sponsored the event, which included flu shots and high blood pressure screening evaluations. It also featured 27 workshops taught by medical professionals and wellness experts.
Healthcare knowledge on prevention of skin cancer, which we talked about today, how to recognize skin cancer. We talked about skincare tips, how to pick a drugstore versus a department store brand, what is more value for your buck.
The event is designed to empower, inform, and provide healthcare tips, organizers say, not only for women, but for the entire family, all free of charge. Monique Stennis, director of social media for the event, says the Expo's founder, Lena L. Kennedy, wants women to know about their health and what direction they need to take to improve it.
She wanted to be able to have an outlet in which people can have free education on health care. So she brought a bunch of groups together, a lot of community organizations, as well as sponsorships from organizations to be able to host this event. And every year it just gets bigger and better. And again, it was her way of ensuring that people received education so that they are empowered to make the right decisions as it impacts their health.
More than 100 vendors from the health, beauty, fitness, fashion, and financial services industries showcased their products and services. A luncheon also took place, bringing everyone together to talk about what they learned about their health and what they plan to incorporate into their future health routines. Deborah Francis, a volunteer at the event, says her sister might still be alive today if she had been more informed about her health.
to stay in good health and know that it's really important that you don't have to get cancer at the last minute. My sister, unfortunately, she passed away from breast cancer at 40 years old, and she didn't have information on how to get well.
Organizers, volunteers, and attendees all agree that this is a great event, and they're looking forward to next year's expo. In Pasadena, Tony Mead, CCN.
If you need centerpieces for your Thanksgiving table but don't have enough time to make them, the Los Altos Auxiliary is here to help. Not only does the organization help you get your arrangements in time, the funds they raise from centerpieces also help Hathaway Sycamore's Children's and Family Services, which offers mental health and welfare help to families in need. Other services include residential treatment, foster and adoption services, and transitional living programs for teens. To get your centerpieces in time for Thanksgiving, contact Los Altos Auxiliary through their website at losaltosauxiliary.org/centerpieces. Orders must be in by Friday, November 15th. Now more from our friends over at Beacon Media. This one from Temple City Tribune. 3 seats are opening up on the Temple City Council for the March 3rd, 2015 elections, and the candidate nomination period begins November 10th. The City Council is made up of 5 council members elected at large for 4-year terms. Terms are staggered with 2 members elected in one election year and 3 members in the next. Council members also serve on the Temple City successor agency to the former Community Redevelopment Agency. The candidate nomination period starts November 10th and closes December 5th at 6 p.m. Candidates must be registered voters and residents of Temple City for at least 1 year before the date of the election. For more on this story, visit TempleCityTribune.com and CrownCityNews.com. That's it for the news. Sunita and Mary, back to you.
Thanks, Paulo. Local activist Steve Lamb is back with us once again for the Morning Buzz. We thought we might have a buzz without talking about Ebola for this week, but Steve wrote a letter printed in the Pasadena Weekly questioning the funding for the CDC and why all hospitals don't have the necessary equipment to combat highly infectious diseases like Ebola. So, Steve, I know the Huntington Hospital, we just heard earlier, the nurses are, petitioning, saying they don't have the equipment they need. Do you think this is a CDC problem?
Well, the CDC has been around since the end of World War II, and we haven't had a pandemic in the United States since 1918. But certainly, the precautions that you have to take for Ebola are very similar to those that you'd have to take for any pandemic. And really, Western culture is like long overdue for one of these.
Well, and I think we just need to be prepared, period,
right,
for anything,
yeah,
whether it's a chemical warfare attack or we need to know. We need to have the equipment there.
And it's the same equipment, mm-hmm, whether it's chemical warfare, Ebola, a really, really bad like Spanish influenza, same equipment. And it's really what the CDC was set up to do, was to control disease in case of this kind of thing. And billions of dollars in funding, and yet the hospitals around America aren't equipped with the basic equipment to do that.
I also think that's an administrative issue too within the hospitals. That's something that I think that leadership needs to be part of managing within their hospitals, because personally I'm not sure that they do a great job with infectious disease. Anyway.
Well, that was
no, that's been, Huntington Hospital, I know because my wife works there, she's worked there for 30 years. And infectious disease, about 10 years ago, they got really, really on that. And those nurses and the hospital also, are really, really on the whole issue of infectious disease within the hospital.
They're protesting.
But they're very strong unions. But I think we need to wrap it up, don't we?
CNA is working to organize the hospital, and
We'll just have to see. Our next topic, Oregon cancer patient Brittany Maynard carried out her decision to end her life on her own terms in an assisted suicide case that gripped the country. Now a California patient, Jennifer Glass, wants the same right here in California. And I'm just wondering, should this be a right all over the country? Should people really have to move to another state like Brittany Maynard did to be able to make decisions about their health care and end-of-life care?
Well, you have the right to kill yourself anytime you want.
Exactly.
What you don't have the right is to involve a medical professional in killing you. And
At least in California.
At least, well,
you can in Oregon.
Yeah, in 49 states you don't have that right.
Killing you or providing you the care that you need? Because care for different people is different.
No.
I don't know that I would call it care. Yeah, that's different than care.
Well, the thing is, I understand with doctors they have the do no harm. But what if prolonging these lives, our lives that we have, is doing harm to us? It is doing harm to our families to have seeing the suffering, the emotional toll that it takes on families. So, if we have a right to prolong our life, why don't we have the right to say,
well, you have the right to not prolong your life. You can refuse medical treatment and medical care, but you don't have the right to ask someone else to aid you in killing yourself. You have to do it all by yourself.
Not in California.
So we need to have them suffer like dogs. We need to see the pain. We need to go through all of that. We can't ask for help.
You can shoot yourself.
We get morphine all the time.
You can shoot yourself.
I understand for me, even for me, going through birth, I was adamant. I was like, I am not going to get my epidural. I'm going to do this naturally. But push came to shove. When those contractions came, I wanted that epidural. And so why, when I at least had an end point.
Yeah, it's a tough, I don't think we're going to solve it here today, but it's a tough one.
Well, it's a discussion that, has come up, and I think it's a good one to have.
Yeah.
Steve, we want to thank you so much for coming here. You are obviously always welcome, friend of the show.
Great to have you on.
Well, need to spy on your kids when they're online?
Oh, there's an app for that. When Amita Jane from Safe Teen, or Teen Safe, joins us next.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea. Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork, loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look, your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach
likes
your
you.
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
I come from a big family. I'm the oldest of 6. To me, being the first person to go to college, it's like setting a standard, My little brother is 8 years old now. I challenge his curiosity. I challenge him to dream. I have to paint a picture for him that he can look up to and live up to and possibly be better than. My name is Jaquez, and I am your dividend.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
It's up to you.
Parents can hardly keep up with their teens in the real world to keep them safe. But now with social media, some parents find it impossible to keep track of what kids are doing in the cyber world. But there's an app for that. Amita Jane, co-founder of the Teen Safe app, is here to tell us how it works.
Well, it works by signing on to teensafe.com and then following the prompts, and it works for the iPhone and the Android phone. And what it does is it gives you the ability to monitor your child's digital world, because as a mom of 2 teens myself, I realized how much in the dark I was when it came to their digital world. And things have changed so much from when we were growing up to what our children face. And really, they have the world at their fingertips. And we want to be able to protect them from all of the information that's coming at them that could be age inappropriate, but we also want to protect them from themselves, because as you know, children's developmental stages, the judgment portion especially, doesn't really fully develop till their mid-20s. So to live up to our #1 responsibility as parents to protect our children, we can't do that if we're in the dark, and that's where TeenSafe has come in.
Yeah, you mentioned you have 2 teens. Was there a situation that happened that prompted you wanting to have an app like this?
Yes, you know, I had walked into my son's room and his Facebook page was up, and I stumbled upon an abusive conversation that was happening on his Facebook page, and it wasn't messaging, it was right there in his mainstream, and I was devastated by it. I thought, oh my gosh, this poor child has to deal with this in such a public way, because it's not just the kids at school, it's everyone that could have access to that information. And that's when I realized how naive I was.
So what will you see in order to protect them?
So what TeenSafe does is it gives you an overall comprehensive idea of where your child is at in their social media world. You've got text messages, incoming and outgoing and deleted. You've got web browser history, their Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Kik chat sessions, their contacts.
Do they feel like they're being invaded? Their privacy is just gone?
You know, I wholeheartedly believe in honesty, letting your child know when they first get that phone that they're being monitored, because we want to protect them. It's our job. But you know, it's up to you, and it's your discretion as a family member to know what's happening in your child's life, whether you need that discretion or not.
Thank you, Amita.
Yes.
I think this is an important app.
Thank you.
Glad you put it together.
Teensafe.com.
Great. That sounds perfect. Well,
millennials becoming homeowners could take the housing market to an explosion level.
Lee Cuellar tells us the potential impact in the CCN Sunrise Your Home segment, coming up next.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
Right, mi cariño. So like I said, everything I learned about cooking, I learned from Grandma's empanadas. Shall we go again?
Yep.
Mix beef with the onions with the peppers with the paprika with the garlic with the oregano with the cumin. Got it?
Got it.
Throw on the olives, stir, season, stir again, pour out the flour, roll out the dough, make a circle, drop in a fistful of filling, fold over, press down, and ta-da!
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Connor is struggling in school.
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Ballerina.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
We heard about how much the millennials love to rent.
But they're also set to make a big impact on the housing market in the coming years. CCN's Lee Cuellar tells us more in the home segment.
A couple of weeks ago, we talked about why millennials like to rent so much. But according to a survey conducted by the California Association of Realtors, or CAR, millennials might just be the answer to help a rebounding housing market surge. According to the survey, more than half of millennials expect to buy in the next 5 years. Though millennials are also known as the boomerang generation, pushed by the recession to return to live with their parents, the leading edge of the generation are on the verge of turning 30, and with the big 3-0, more of them will finally move out and start families and households of their own. A study by Harvard University's Joint Center for Housing Studies projects that millennials will make up 24 million new households between 2015 and 2025, substantially boosting demand for starter homes. So far, even as the economy has improved, the impact of the millennials has been muted. But that's likely to change in the next decade, the Harvard study concluded. And there are a few signs that the number of new households has begun to recover. And many of those new households want new homes. In the survey of young adults by CAR in August of 2014, they concluded that just over half of the millennials highly valued home ownership. Although millennials currently love the convenience of renting, they also see the advantages of privacy, satisfaction, and the freedom to do what they want with their property that home ownership brings. Despite seeing their parents struggle through the recession, 59% said they still saw home ownership as a good investment. Still, with the high price of Southern California housing, 67% said they rent because they simply can't afford to buy. Yet, the sheer number of young adults in this generation, nearly 86 million, makes them an especially influential force. The decisions they make about their living arrangements will, by extension, affect the economy, which has traditionally relied on the housing market to create construction jobs and generate consumer spending for everything from dishes to furniture to pricey appliances. And all those things that millennials would need to buy to transform a house into a home is the reason why millennials just might be the answer to all of our problems. Now, if we could just get them off the couch.
Get ready for some tasty Peruvian shrimp ceviche.
When Chef Joanna Ramos from Whole Foods 110 and Bellevue joins the Mad Chef, next on Taste of Sunrise.
What if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow.
My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Okay, Simon, what do people wear?
Clothes.
That's right, so it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're gonna take the laces, we're gonna cross them over, we're gonna turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
Why do you not get me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
And now, CCN Crown City News, your neighborhood starts right now.
We have a special treat for you today. Chef Joanna Ramos from the Arroyo Parkway's Whole Foods 110 and Bellevue restaurants joins the Mad Chef Dave Matthews to make us some tasty Peruvian shrimp ceviche. I can't wait.
We're going on a tour today, so why don't you lead us with
All right,
Peruvian
so we're going
ceviche.
to start by having you chop up this garlic.
Got it.
It's a really simple sauce with just cilantro, garlic, red onion, and some ají amarillo paste.
What's Rio paste?
It's a Peruvian sauce that's just a yellow chili paste that's used in a lot of their cooking.
And this is something you can find right in Whole Foods?
Yep, you can buy it right at Whole Foods.
Okay.
What I find interesting though about this ceviche is that there's no tomatoes.
No tomatoes.
So it's
just,
going to be a little different. The profile will be different.
Yeah, it's just a very citrusy, delicious.
It sounds really
You
good.
want to put a little bit of onions in the Vitamix.
We're using some sweet
Not too much though,
potatoes.
Howie.
Just
Don't
a
want-
little. That's good.
Okay.
And
I get a little overzealous with my onions.
This is just some lime and lemon juice.
Both
So
of them?
here's your garlic.
Mixed together, half and half.
Dicing that so nicely.
And then
Can you
It's
do
all
just
about
one if you
presentation.
only have lime, or
yeah,
if you
you
only
can
have
do
lemon?
either.
Okay, how
You
much
can do a little
garlic
bit
would you
more.
like in there?
Okay.
You can put 1 clove is
One
good.
clove? Okay, got it.
And then just a little bit of this, maybe a couple tablespoons.
Here you go. Let me help you there.
Thank you.
So,
not good
how
at
did this recipe
estimating.
come about? Because I am so used to Mexican ceviche with all of the
Yeah,
cilantro and tomatoes.
I worked with a bunch of Peruvians before, and it was a really popular dish on our menu. So I just
So is this
studied
like-
with them, learned how to make it.
And this is really like authentic and.
This is really authentic, yeah.
Cilantro is
no,
the
but-
best.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
You're the expert. I don't know why I help out.
And then we just have some shrimp if you want to just turn this on
Do you want the shrimp in the bowl?
in the bowl.
Go.
There it goes.
And then the corn.
Corn.
Is that
Who doesn't
good?
love corn?
And then, yeah, that's good. And then red onion. Just
Red
a little
onion,
bit.
all of it, or just a little bit?
Just a little.
Now, can you use canned corn, or does it have to be fresh, or can it be
I would
frozen?
prefer frozen if you had to, but
Frozen's better.
Okay.
just
Good to
because
know.
it's frozen at the
pinch
when
of
it's
salt
freshest.
and- I love
yeah, a little salt,
Yes.
pepper.
We'll
can I do
have
it?
you let you have that. There
Oh,
you
look.
go. You want to do it again? So
pinch. There we go.
fancy.
You have-
Look. Where'd you go to school to do that?
The school of mom.
Okay, there you go. Go, Chef
And
Joanna.
then, if
What
you
else
want
do
to
you
cut
need?
this avocado,
Absolutely.
Move
Let me give you
this out
that.
of the way.
and I'll just take one of those bowls.
Wonderful.
And then we mix in a little bit of sweet potato that just steamed.
Ooh, possessed. This is steamed?
Just steamed, yeah. So it's,
Oh my God,
it's really
so
healthy.
excited
Sweet
about
potato. I've
this.
never seen
Yeah,
that.
that's
in
a
ceviche.
Peruvian.
How would you like this cut?
Awesome.
Oops.
Just into little strips, whatever you
So this is super healthy.
Super healthy, super easy.
It's really, if you've noticed, the last couple recipes have been super easy we've done.
You're
For ease, it's-
making it easy for us.
And it's within my new food challenge too.
Oh,
so
that's
this is
right. You
perfect.
can
I
eat
love
Oh,
it.
that's right. Our new food challenge that's coming up.
Yep.
And is this shrimp? Is it cooked or
It's just blanched. You don't have to. You can let it cook in the sauce, but
And you know what blanching is, right?
just a little bit of water?
Just a
or?
little bit of boiling water, like
Just for a couple
30
minutes,
seconds,
yeah.
a minute,
how I
and
do
then throw it
that?
into an ice bath.
Oh, an ice
You're
bath.
getting
And
good.
ice bath?
Ice bath. Ice bath. Ugh. Yes.
Threw me there.
Sounds chilly.
Okay.
so this is going to be kind of a tostada. We have a sprouted grain tortilla.
You try this tortilla.
On the
It's
bottom.
So good. Super healthy.
And I see that's harder than like normal tortillas.
Yeah,
Is that?
we just crisped it up in the oven,
Ah,
so you get
Oh,
that
okay.
crunch.
So she made it crispy.
look at this tasty meal.
So colorful
We're using this
too.
as
That's
garnish,
what's so
right?
nice.
Yeah, you
Are
can
we
just
doing
put a
any
few
cilantro
slices
on
on
here?
top. Yeah, a few pieces of cilantro.
Who doesn't love cilantro?
But you know, some
Save the
people,
stem. I know
some people don't like
it.
cilantro.
I know,
It
it's a
tastes
love or
metallic
hate
to them,
kind of,
right?
And what is the dried version of cilantro?
What is it?
Coriander seeds.
Coriander.
Is it
very
really? I
good.
did not know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
So
so if you
that's-
can't find cilantro, you can
I've
find
been
oregano.
taking my cooking school. All right, Mary, you're
Okay,
going to have
here.
to try this for us
Okay.
as
Let's
we
make
wrap
another
up
one.
the show.
Okay, all right. So
That's
do I
it
pick
for
this
We
up
can
with
now.
my
make one more.
hands?
Let's make one more.
We would like to thank all of our sponsors for supporting our show.
Thank you so much.
Big thanks also to Kevin George from the Vet Hunters Project, activist Steve Lamb, Amita Jane from Teen Safe, and Chef Joanna Ramos from 110 and Bellevue for joining us in
So
studio.
exciting.
Thanks also for our segment stars and crew, and especially to you out there for watching us. Have a great rest of your day.